So, looking at polling, Sanders has been surging in the polls. Warren has frozen or started to drop in the polls. She dropped 9 in California. She dropped 9 in many other polls that came out. Pete Buttigieg has been eating into her voter base. So Warren's voter base is predominantly white. Almost like doubles the other share of her vote tallies. Pete Buttigieg's is predominantly white. And almost doubles the vote tallies, so even though maybe less. He's pulling from her. He's feeding. They're feeding on the same vein of sorts. Now, this is national poll of college students. Sanders, 35%. Warren, 26%. Yang, 10%. These are college kids. So you already have an idea that Sanders is bringing a youth vote. The youth vote is going to be a predominant vote in coming next snow. Sanders hit number 1 in Reuters poll in the nation. Again, tied it with Joe Biden. This is Iowa, CBS News, meaning a mainstream poll, 2% deviation. I think it was like 2 point some, minus 3%. Sanders, 22%. Biden, 22%. Buttigieg, 21%. Warren, 18%. She drops.
Now, someone said that they think that Warren is the Democratic establishment pick. Do you think it's Biden or Warren? I think it was Biden, and now he's a little shaky, and so it's Warren.
I think it's Biden. Okay. But I think Warren is there to hit Sanders in the knees. That's what I think. Because she didn't run in 2016. She ran in 2020. And whether she's running with the explicit knowledge of that, meaning if somebody kind of brushed her to run, maybe even if she's running on her own energy, she is sapping him, or she's like aping him in a way that tries to deaden him or blunts his impact.
Detract from him.
Because if you notice, if those two together, he wins. Like, they're taking like 60% of the vote tally. Just them two alone.
Yeah.
There's nobody else that is on the field that is even getting close to Sanders in regards to the policies that he's pushing. She has decidedly to ape him. That's been a very specific public policy. So whether it's her or whether it's, because with her, she's at least passable in the sense of she's malleable. Like, I don't know if they believe that she's going to even try to do that stuff. And the plan that she puts out kind of makes that point clear. Meaning, if Warren is saying, I'm going to knock this stuff out of the park, just like Sanders, and then she puts out a public option that's Pete's plan, what does that say about her other plans? Like, this is a betrayal. And her own, her base is like, oh, how dare you guys say that she's wrong for doing this. Sanders' plan has a transition, but he does it in one bill. That's the point. Like, you're not going to get 2 bites at the apple.
Yeah.
And she's intentionally breaking this up for a secondary Congress on top of that, meaning...
There's no way.
The mandate Congress. That's what I'm going to call it. Because if you get in and you get your House, your Senate, and the presidency, that's your mandate Congress. She's going to give that up for an unlikely Congress, because oftentimes the party who's in power loses like 28, 30 seats.
Right.
So what the fuck are you doing? Like, if you mean it, you mean it. And you look at that and you like, I was thought, this is wildly impractical. Was Obama going to get 2 bites at the apple of Obamacare? No. How? I mean, after they passed Obamacare, there was like, Democrats were like hiding. Like, they were trying to get away from it. I mean, they didn't want to touch it. It became radioactive. It was just really bizarre. So I don't know of her getting, it's not like she's putting out multiple pieces. This is one piece of legislation that she's saying she's going to also do it again. Like, I'm going to have a second referendum on this after getting in office and being elected for this. So I get it, but that's not Medicare for all. Call it Pete's plan. I mean, Pete also wanted a pathway to Medicare for all at some point. Even Nate Silver says that's more close to Pete. Now, the question becomes, will she be penalized for that? Like, as people start criticizing that, she's going to hit for this. Biden is going to say, you're being dishonest, you're being dodgy with the numbers. Sanders is going to say, I think my Medicare for all plan is more efficient, and my plan is going to be done in one bill. It's actually Medicare for all. Pete may even say, you've stolen my plan and called it Medicare for all. Annie Klobuchar is going to say, your numbers don't add up. You're trying to... They're going to hit her. Now, the viability of Elizabeth Warren is entirely going to depend on whether she can withstand that.
Yeah.
If she can keep...
And I don't think so, because if you saw last weekend, we watched that video of her...
Yeah, she looked bad.
She needs some wine.
Yeah, she looked bad.
Or
you know, with Democracy Now!, and she was like being really jumpy. Yeah, she was looking bad in that. She gets a little prickly in some of these interviews. So this is the more interesting thing in this, by the way. So it says... which best describes your choice as a candidate right now? Meaning, have you made up your mind over that thing? So look at Sanders. Sanders gets 39%. I've made up my mind. I'm done. That's my guy. But look at everyone else. This one is Biden, 25%. Buttigieg, 20%. Warren, 24%. The people who are supporting Sanders are like, yes, I've made up my mind by almost a factor of 20%. Isn't that awesome? And that's consistent, by the way.
We serious about it.
We're serious. When you look at poll after poll after poll in various states, the higher percentage of people says, yes, I'm fired up. I'm done. I was done in 2016.
Yeah.
They go to Sanders. And the other typically go to Biden in the sense of, I don't need to look anywhere else. I got my guy. Like Biden got 25%. Yeah. Warren gets 24. All right, here's another one. I probably made up my mind. So that's when you get Biden for 63%. Yeah, maybe somebody might come up, but more likely than not, I'm done. Sanders, 57%. So between probably and I am absolutely totally clear, Sanders gets like 80%, almost 90% on this case. I probably made up my mind. Buttigieg gets 60, Warren 60.
So Warren, that's funny. Look at the last one. I'll almost certainly end up changing my mind.
10%.
6% of the people. No, I'll almost certainly, that very last
6%,
one,
yeah.
Question number 10 for Warren, the amount of people that said I'll almost certainly end up changing my mind
16%.
is 6. So the people who are thinking that they're going to end up changing their mind from Warren is 16%.
16. And right here for Buttigieg, 19%. But that's funny. I almost certainly would end up changing my mind.
She's the only one that has a real percentage there, 6%.
Yeah, you're right. Because Sanders has 0. And this guy, Biden only has 12.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's a good catch. All right, who would your second choice be? Warren, 24%. Sanders is after Warren. Now, here's the fascinating part. And this is the part that I've said the trend is consistent. What would be the thing that would need for Joe Biden to be their first choice? 47%. I need to know that you can beat Trump. Right here with Sanders. What would it need to be for 41? I need you to know that you can beat Trump. And right here, show me that he can, do well in early. Clearly, like beyond anything else, you got to be able to beat Trump. You got to keep the monsters at bay.
Yeah, that's pretty much across the board.
Across the board. Now, here's another one that I thought was interesting. And this one deals with Sanders and policy stuff. Right here. In your view, the best way for Democrats to win the presidency in 2020, right here, Joe Biden becomes the Democratic nominee in 20. Do you think his policy stances would be too liberal for Trump? Nope. Not liberal enough for Trump? 30%. About right, 62%. Joe Biden is a safe bet for them. In their eyes, he's just safe. Bernie Sanders become president. Not liberal enough? 11%. About right to defeat Trump, 43%. It drops 20%.
The 45% of people think he's too liberal to defeat Trump.
Yeah, they're terrified. Again, I'm right. My argument, if you look back at the videos, has been you have people who
like that number.
What do they want versus what they're terrified of, and these things are fighting with one another. Meaning, for Biden, they look at him and says, "Okay, he's safe. He's been around forever. He's about right. This is what we think will work." And then they look at Sanders and they're like, I like your ideas, buddy. I mean, for all, he's number one in that poll. And then there's like, but can he win?
He might be too liberal.
We
might not be ready for that kind of change.
This is the esoteric other. Have I ever told you about that? The esoteric other? I've never told you about that.
Okay.
The esoteric other is the term I use for...
You're going to tell it now.
This thing outside of us. It's like our pursuing of the world. So somebody goes to the polls and it's like, oh man, I'd vote for Jill Stein if other people will vote for her. And then maybe 30% of people saying the exact same thing. And because...
In which case he loses it.
She loses. She gets like 2% of the polls. Because in their heads, the outside world is not on board. This is why media is so important. When media is pushing a narrative over and over and over and over again, and people get in their heads, well, I guess I'm alone in this, or not enough of us, so I'm going to do this other thing. It's manipulation. It's manipulation.
Ooh, excuse me. You're fine.
It's manipulation for that very specific point. This matters. Like, this is why gaslighting.
Well, I hear that all the time where I'm telling people about Bernie Sanders, like, people in my family, and they're like, I don't know if he's going to win. I don't know if people are going to vote for him. Well, not with that state of mind. No.
But that's my point.
I know, babe. I'm reinforcing that. I'm reinforcing that.
It's something out there. Something out there. The world is reinforcing that. The world is a particular way. When really, if the people just went and voted who they wanted, you get a better choice.
Right, and speak life, speak positivity to the change that you want to see instead of like, I don't know.
But that's the dichotomy. Terrified versus
I don't know if he's gonna make it. They might cut him in the knees, but I'm doing everything that I can from my standpoint, and his ass is getting my vote.
Here's another one. Buttigieg. They think Buttigieg is about right to defeating Trump. Now, when I said that, I was like, this poll is ridiculous. Now, the reason I said this
you liked it until then.
Well, the poll is absurd. Buttigieg has about as much black support as Donald Trump, if he has that much. And they're supposed to, this is Iowa. This is a predominantly white state. So in their heads, they're like, yeah, this guy's about right. These limousine liberals. Yeah. This guy's about right. Missing the point that he can't get the black vote. He can't get the black vote. If you can't get the black vote, you can't even get out of the Democratic primary. I don't even know why that question is there until Buttigieg gets more than 2% of a black vote. I'm just saying. They keep trying to make Buttigieg like he's a thing. He's going to have to get more than just, Elizabeth Warren. Well, them two are feeding off of each other. So, I guess you can say it in those terms. Elizabeth Warren becomes the Democratic nomination. Here we are. Same dichotomy. 43. We think she's too liberal, or we think she's just right. Isn't that fascinating?
Where'd you get this? The CBS poll?
This is CBS. This is a real poll. Here's another real interesting one. Which of these qualities do you think best describe Joe Biden? Exciting. Safe.
That I knew that before I even looked at the damn percentage.
Safe. Now, how about this? What do you think that's Sanders? Safe, 24%. Risky, 46%.
Down to earth, 43%. I like that.
Here's the thing with Warren. No, this is Buttigieg. But let's go with Warren. Risky.
So the progressives, not real, but the progressives are
they're risky.
Risky.
Now, let's think about that for a moment. Hillary Clinton would have came up on this poll as safe.
Down to earth.
I don't know about that part. But she would have came up as safe. And she would have lost. All of these Democrats thought Hillary Clinton was a safe choice in that election. And everybody, for the most part, realizes that Sanders would have won. And despite that, what I mean by propaganda, they've been indoctrinated with the belief system that you can only have incrementalism. Missing the point that loss, she lost to reality show hosts. And they're still saying to themselves, yeah, we got to go with the dumber version of Hillary Clinton.
Ooh.
I mean, Joe Biden. And then you have all these billionaires freaking out, like losing their shit, getting into the race. Deval Patrick gets into the race. Bloomberg gets into the race. Do you think there's a clamoring for either of those two to get into the race? Who's pushing those two into the race? Isn't that interesting?
They're billionaire friends.
This is going into the second story.